The story about his relationship with his wife and the incredible, sometimes heartbreaking journey they have traveled together is republicized by Hot Muzanzi today to mark the political icon's death. Born into a family in which having many wives was the norm, Buthelezi chose to remain with one woman. As with any true love tale, the IFP leader says he will never forget that special day in January 1949 when he met Irene Audrey Tandikile Mzila. He was just 20 and he had accompanied his uncle, Prince Mshieni and Dinuzulu, to his son's wedding in Randfontein. We stayed on the Wanela compound in Eflof Street, run by Zakaria Mzila. There I met Mzila's beautiful daughter. She was about to do a nursing course at St. Aidan's Hospital in Durban. I was mesmerized. She was full of life, intelligent, and kind. She had a quite sophisticated that would have served her well in the diplomatic corps. It did not take me long to ask her hand in marriage. Buthelezi's father, Inkosi Matole Buthelezi, the Zulu's monarch's prime minister, had 20 wives. His mother was Princess Magogo Kanizulu. Her brother King Solomon Kanizulu had 40 wives and died young, aged 40. It was expected of Buthelezi that he too would marry more than one wife. After my father's death, I was raised by Prince Mshieni, who became regent during the interregnum. He had one wife and I chose to follow his example. Over the years, I came under some pressure to take another wife, but I am Christian and I believe in marriage to one woman. Buthelezi found himself often wondering how he would be coped with more than one wife, considering the demands of his time, but he has no regrets. I never lacked anything, having only one wife. Princess Irene has been my closest friend, my advisor, my prayer warrior, and the love of my life. He says she is an exceptional mother and grandmother. We've been blessed with 8 children, 5 daughters, and 3 sons. She loved them all generously. I'm constantly amazed at her inner strength. Tragically, we have buried 5 of our children and have thus taken over the care of many of our grandchildren. She is always available to them and deeply interested in everything they do, said Buthelezi. For the long-lasting couple, keeping their marriage alive has been easy. We've kept the Lord at the center of our marriage. He is our greatest cheerleader, and with baking like that is hard not to believe in lasting love. I've also made a point of remembering special days. Irene celebrated her 86th birthday on Friday. It certainly helps too that we have both have sense of humor, he said. He said that when he was made honorary an honorary member of the Chiefs Association of South Africa in the 1990s. I proudly related this to my wife and showed her my certificate. She lowered her eyes and smiled. I asked why she was laughing at me, and she said we had been married for more than 40 years and had never seen me cook a meal. I reminded her I could fry an egg, and she burst out laughing, he said. As with any marriage, theirs had its ups and downs. The biggest challenge was maintaining hope in the midst of the People's War of the 1980s and early 1990s. That war turned against the IFP because of my stand against sanctions and armed struggle. Many threats were made on my life, and there was more than one assassination attempt. It was hard for Irene. She feared for my safety. It was particularly hard for her to understand the conflict between the ANC and Inkatha. For your father had been good friends with Mandela, and we became good friends too. So it was hard for her to endure the propaganda against me with jaundiced references even today in the media. Her skin is not as thick as mine. It hurts her to see me maligned, even now after I've spent more than 6 decades serving my country, he said. Though a busy man, Buthelezi believes it's important to make time for family. My schedule and my responsibilities have been always been demanding. For years, I was fortunate to have Princess Irene travel with me when I visited other countries. Now, of course, we are both octogenarians, and I would not expect her to maintain the punishing schedule my work still demands of me. My staff know, however, how important it is to get me back home at the end of every week. My secretary is strict with people to ensure I regularly spend time with my family. As the couple grow old together, they have also maintained their vows in sickness and in health. For years, Princess Irene and I have suffered diabetes. At our age, it is unusual not to have health complaints, but the Lord has blessed us with strong constitutions. It's remarkable that Irene has delivered 8 children, endured decades of stress, and battled diabetes, yet is still strong enough to sit up waiting for me when I come back home late. I ensure she sees a doctor regularly, and I thank God there have not been any serious concerns, said Buthelezi. Buthelezi is a recipe of a happy marriage. You can't go into a marriage thinking how happy the other person is going to make you. A successful marriage is not in which both spouses are trying to outdo one another in filling up the love tank. You have to invest in your marriage constantly, understanding that it is your most important relationship. Invest today in the marriage you want to have in 30 or 40 years' time. Deal with the issues as they arise. You will be amazed at how God honors marriage. Even times you refuse to give up, it just gets better.